welcome to my channel. Can you even hear me over this? This is god awful. Yes, it's another Thursday night church. And if I wanted to listen to anything on my computer, I'd be shit out of luck. If I wanted to play a radio, tough turtles for me. If I wanted to listen to or watch my TV, good luck with that. Because once again, we are being bombarded with this house of worship that does not care about its neighbors. And it's raining out, so if I wanted to get the hell out of town or get the hell away from here, I can't do it because of this church. How would you feel if this was where you lived? If you and your family lived here for 8, 9 years before these churches moved in? Or how's about you lived someplace for 8 or 9 years and this nasty preacher goes and rents out the downstairs? And to have it, it's bad enough to have it in the morning on Sundays, but then he decides to sublet to a bunch of other churches. So you get more and more nights where you're treated to this. And you and your family have called the police repeatedly. You and your family have called the landlord. You and your family have talked to various people that know things about code enforcement and vice and what have you. And there's a whole lot of vice in this neighborhood. If you've been watching my channel for any time, you know that. But everybody's afraid to deal with churches. Everybody's afraid of preachers because they're afraid of civil rights things. They're afraid of being called all kinds of untrue things. Everybody's afraid of being called prejudice or racist or anything. And so we have to suffer. And you know, the landlord, he's getting ready to go out of town, so if he wanted to, he's going to be leaving the country in a couple of weeks. Do you love this? Why do they have to be this fucking loud? Now, if you're watching me and you do go to a church of some kind, can you please explain to me the need for this? If these people are trying to get God to hear them, and if God is the God of their understanding, is all-seeing, all-powerful, all-knowing, all-wise, all this stuff, then they really don't need to up the volume. The crowd does not look like they are hard of hearing from downstairs. They're well-dressed. They're not people who live in this neighborhood. Nobody walks here to this church. They all drive in cars, all these families. I don't know where they come from. I don't know why they don't seem to care whenever they have been alerted this is too loud. I can't imagine how any of these people would feel if they were living someplace and they were being bombarded with a religion that, say, was not theirs and drowned out every piece of electronics they had. Don't people who live someplace have rights at all? Well, apparently not in the United States right now, because what the squatters are doing, these illegal aliens that are not being prosecuted, and I'm not saying that the people downstairs are illegals, but I don't know. We can't communicate with them. I'm not going to go haul out my outdated Spanish-English dictionary to try to communicate with people who have no intention of being reasonable, who don't care about the feelings of other people, who feel that because they have a certain ideology and a certain place to go to hang out with those who believe in what they do, that anybody who is not a part of that, therefore, don't count. Our feelings don't count. And if this is supposed to be a calling card for the religion, it's not helping. If all I see is a negative thing associated with any culture, any religion, any political movement, if all I see, one thing after another is negativity, what am I probably going to end up feeling? So this is a very bad calling card, both for the religion and the culture as far as I'm concerned, because reasonable people do not inflict this on their neighbors. Reasonable people, people who care about other people, don't do this to their fellows. Usually, it's like if you see somebody, I had an experience this morning, there was a man who was sitting in his truck and he was running his engine, and I debated whether to say something because, nobody likes to be told what to do in the sanctity of their own vehicles, and you have a whole lot of people that don't care about air pollution here. But when I mentioned to him that, the air goes up the stairwell, this carbon monoxide, and it messes with the air here, he shut his engine off. We ended up having a very delightful conversation. I mentioned to him about the mice that I keep on rescuing, and he told me about his cat, and I told him about Garfield. And so he was a very nice person. So there are people that care about their fellow man. But then there are the people like this church here. Is it the Bible that does this? Is there something in the Bible that says you have a right to be an asshole to anybody that will not accept this book and our interpretation of it? Is that it? Maybe that explains the terrorism that other religions do, where because they are so sure that their way is the only way, they think it's okay to make other people suffer who are not the believers. Is that how people are supposed to treat the other? I don't think so. I sure don't feel that way. Most people are different than me in many ways, and I'm not going to look at them as differently. As long as you're not torturing animals or something, I don't have a beef with you. As long as you're not doing everything you can to make everybody miserable, I have no problem with you. But these people, the people that are running this place, the people that go here, they know that they are bothering us. They absolutely know. And they don't care. Now, I don't know much about the Bible, and I don't know if they have their translation of it tells them that they don't have to love their neighbor as themselves. But if this is what churches teach, that it's okay to make people miserable, and that if you're not Christian and you don't go believe all the things they do, then you have a right to shit on people, well then, guess what? I want no part of it. People that think it's okay to make people suffer, this is what they're doing to us. They don't give a damn about us. They don't. You know what? I wish they were illegal so that I could get ICE to deport them, but you know what? That doesn't happen now because the people who don't live here have more rights than the people that do. People that don't look like me have more rights than the people that do. The people that came here, that this church has not even been here a year. All because that pastor asshole subletted it out to these people. I guess the preachers all they know who each other is, and it's such a racket. You guys don't pay taxes, and you sell this lie to people that, you know what, your life may suck now, but when you die, everything's going to be great. Just give us 10% of everything you earn, and, everything will be wonderful. I hate these people. What they are doing to us. They are making my mother sicker and sicker. She is really, her health is declining, and I think so much of it is due to the stress of this. If I lose my mother through this, I will blame it on these goddamn churches. I hate them so much. And they will have blood on their hands. What they do to people, the stress in this neighborhood, and with the loudspeakers and making people inconvenienced and suffering and stuff. And especially when the weather is inclement, the people that live here, we can't go anywhere. We're stuck with this. I don't think that this should be something that should be okay in America. If the First Amendment protects people's right to religious liberty and stuff, it should also protect the people that aren't interested in it, or that have other ideologies, or just want to have enough quiet so that they could do what they want to do instead of being made to suffer. There's churches, there's house of worship around here. Whatever noise they have is contained within. They don't bother their neighbors. There's a Catholic church not even 2 blocks away. They don't bother anybody. There's mosques around here that if they have the call to prayer, we've never heard it. They don't bother other people. Honestly, I'm cutting them a break. All the houses of worship around here, none of them bother other people except the ones that move into these storefronts and bother the building. Be glad you don't live above a church. To be continued. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.